Hey, what's up, everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I haven't made a therapy session in a few days. Feel all right. Yesterday was a pretty good day. Did the playlist thing, made some pretty good art. Let's see. It was like an African playlist, the Elite CD 403. Still pushing along in regards to that. Had a good Bible study yesterday with my family. Of course, been paying attention to everything going on in the league, NBA, and just nursing my health. Still trying to finish off the rest of this cold that I had. Still dealing with small symptoms, but nothing too serious. I don't remember exactly what kept me from leaving the house yesterday, but I did stay in yesterday. I think I was just being lazy, to be honest with you. Decided to do the artwork, and knew I had the Bible study showing up at 4:30, so it was like, well, I could go out, but it's probably going to lead me to rushing back home. I just wasn't in the mood for all that, so I just stayed in, man. Enjoyed fantasy football, of course, all of that, and just maintaining, man. I think it's been a good week for overcoming stomach issues and all different types of stuff, handling those things very well. So, that's kind of what it is. I just felt like I could use a little more rest than usual, and I took it. But today I'm getting back out, and budgeting is the conversation. I have but so much I can use. I'm still waiting on the deposit to return back into my account from the hotel. It's like 3 to 5 business days, so of course the weekend, they don't count that. Now, when it's time for you to pay bills, they definitely want you to pay them on the weekend, but for whatever reason, businesses are exempt from paying people on weekends, which I think is bull crap. I think that's garbage, especially when everything's digital these days. Man, this hotel that over there that I go to, that deposit scam that they got going on, that's a real thing. That's a scam, man. That's a scam. But whatever the case may be, man, hopefully I don't have to go there too many more times. I like being there, but giving them an extra $100 and not being able to see that money for a week is crazy. If I put down a deposit and you deem that my deposit is good, I should be getting that money back. If it ain't a damn scam, I should get that back in cash the same day. Or I should be having that pushed back into my account the same day, wired it to me. All the different ways you can wire people money, Zelle, all different types of stuff that you can do now in this era. There's no reason for me to be waiting 5 days for you to send back $100 that I gave you right away. I gave it to you right away. You should give it back to me right away. So anything less than that is a damn scam. And that is something that I'm a bit irritated with when I'm sitting here waiting for this money to come back to me. Especially when I gave my uncle the $100 like 3 days ago, thinking it would be back in my account by now. It ain't. So my account looking crazy right now. And this is what it is. So yeah, a little frustrated with that situation. But all in all, I'm just minding what I got on mind, man. And everything else is just, just paying attention to what's going on in Gaza, man. A bit frustrated with that. The RNC, rather, or whatever the hell they call that convention they had yesterday, that was bull crap. Stuff like that is just eating away at my patience. Seeing them come up with these racist jokes that they were talking about. They made fun of black people yesterday. This one comedian got on stage at their convention, and he had nothing but racist jokes. And I know the spirit behind why he's doing that. For one, they believe that a good portion of the people that support them are racist. That's the reality of it. They look at them as they think their demographic is a racist white males and females. So they think they're catering their wording toward you if you're that. And that's really what it is. They trying to pander to what they believe your sense of humor is. And also they're trying to groom the American public for the realities of what it is that we're supporting in Israel. I guess this is how they look at it. If we can pander to the racist majority, or that for which is the white majority, which has racist intentions within its culture, natural fabric, its culture is racist. when they find out what's actually happening in Israel, when the truth comes out about how apartheidy that situation actually is, we can have already conditioned and groomed our base for supporting what will otherwise be the natural rejection of that behavior. That's exactly what that is. And they figure whoever they lose in the process of that is just a lesser of two evils from which to lose. If they lose a couple black people, a couple Spanish voters, they don't think much of them any damn way, because they don't think that it's as important as continuing to pander to that racist white majority, which they believe is who they have supporting them. That's what that is. That's exactly what that is. It's the same thing that Trump used to get in office the first time. Pandering to the racist white majority. And in this situation, they figure they double down on that by disrespecting all of the people of color who they think is not voting for them any damn way, who they think is going to reject their support for Israel when they find out what's going on over there any damn way. They figure they might as well disrespect us early and rile up those who would otherwise stand on their side just out of the strength of the racism in their culture and hearts. That's exactly what that is, man. Exactly what it is. Just another PR strategy. We got a bunch of racist people on our side. Let's make sure that we condition them for what's ahead, because the truth is going to come out about what's going on in Israel. And the only people who are going to support that crap when it's all shakes out are individuals who are absolutely and utterly racist. That's literally it. So let's try to condition as many of these people as possible for the normalization of racist outputting, so that when the truth starts to trickle into their eardrums, they don't question it. They just align with us. We support Israel. Israel's an apartheid state. That's literally it. And we want to, the government on both sides wants to condition us somehow to be able to absorb that truth, so that we don't go absolutely ape crap over it when it starts to hit the fan, when everybody starts to actually realize it. That's what I think is going on there. And you know, I mean, I just tell everybody, man, if that's going to be what we try to do, if that's who we want to be going forward, then all we're going to be is at odds with one another. All this peaceful, kind way of talking to people and treating one another and all of that stuff, it goes by the wayside, so that our government can support a entity that's not wise enough to be kind to one another and respect one another's differences. You know, because they're in the Stone Ages as it pertains to that. And we want to support them. Now we got to try to do everything we can to undo all the progress that we've made, so that we can support them in what it is that they're doing. And it's just one of many reasons why so many people who are at the top of our government body need to be thrown in prison. It's why they need to be taken from where they are and put into jail cells. Because this is criminal, and it's inciting violence, and all that stuff they talk about, igniting terrorists, supporting terrorism, all these different things that they love to say. That's exactly what they're doing. And those of us who are paying close enough attention to it aren't fooled by any of it. We're not amused by any of it, and that's pretty much it. So I'm a bit frustrated watching it. I think a good portion of people who are paying attention to this, who have a conscience, are a bit frustrated looking at all this. And meanwhile, we're seeing footage of more continuous results of the genocide. I mean, this morning, fresh new dead children to pay it to view at Israel, then struck from with an airstrike. They just shot up a bunch of kids as usual. As Lord knows, they ain't shooting nobody, is shooting at them. They only target the innocent. That's all they're good at. So there's more footage of that. And then, of course, what's going on in North Rafah is just ridiculous. In North Gaza, rather. It's absolutely absurd how they didn't box the people that are in there in, starving them out and killing them one by one if they can. Walking in there with their armies and just shooting in residential spaces where people are trying to survive. I mean, and this is what our government wants to co-sign. This is what they support, because they can take over the land and funnel whatever the hell they want to funnel through that area without any trouble from the Arabs. That's really what our country's interested in, it seems to me. As if they can't find a more humane way of doing something like this. I don't know, man. It's just, this country's gone to crap. I just want to be honest with everybody. It's gone to crap, man. Y'all let really, really irresponsible people be bribed and bought and paid for by really, really evil and wicked, unfair individuals. And that's what you're seeing, is the result of the intentions of the people behind these irresponsible, corrupt politicians enacting their intentions upon the rest of us. And if we got any sense, we would put all of these people in prison, all of them. We'll build new prisons to put them in. That's the God's honest truth. But too many people are still in the dark, and it's just in time for election time for half of us to choose between the lesser of two evils, for which are both bought and paid for by these same Israeli entities, which is devastating considering what it is they're going to try to do when they have full power over all of us through one of these electoral candidates that we're about to give an opportunity to run the free nation, quote unquote, run the free nation, also known as being bribed, bought and paid for by AIPAC, Israel, and all other apartheid terroristic entities of that region. So they're winning right now. We'll see how it plays out in the long run. But it seems to me that this is headed for doom for the rest of us. And it's going to be some unhappy racist white people when they find out that they're just as discardable as the Palestinians are to these people. They're going to be pissed off. When they find out that they don't have any friends there. You're supporting Israel. Israel does not support you on anything that you're doing, least of all controlling your own selves. That's the difference between what we're walking into and what we came out of when we were in the Jim Crow era. The Jim Crow era was set up so that Caucasian people can be able to stand above black people in the 60s, 50s, and before that. That's what Jim Crow was about. So that American whites could be considered the supremacists. This ain't what this is. This is so that the Jews can be supremacists. And that's what white folks need to understand, whether you're racist or you're fair. This ain't about leaving you in a position to make America great again, also known as making America racist again. This ain't about doing that. They're not sending you back to the 40s and the 50s when you can have whites only water fountains and bullshit like that. That's not what this is headed back to. This is headed to everybody is going to be together, and the Jews are going to have all the best stuff. That's what this is going to be. Y'all about to get this started up. This is so that Jewish whites can have supremacy over the entire earth, not just America. You understand what I'm saying when you see it, but that's really what this is about. So if you're listening to these liars tell you that they're about to make America great again, no, they're going to make America anew. That's what it's going to be. It ain't going to be nothing like it was before. Because y'all going to be treated just as poorly as us. That's what the reality is. You're going to have people of brown skin and Jewish faith getting in before you get in, white sir. Because that's exactly what the Israelis got going on. Or half of them are just hybrids of European and Arabic ethnicities. That is exactly what that is. So what you're going to end up having is darker skinned Jewish people treating white people crazy. And they ain't going to know what to do with that. Because they've been cultured over the last 400 years to think that the lighter the skin, the brighter the future. But that is not what this is. That's not what this is about to be. That's not what Israel's trying to set you up for, friend. That ain't what this is about to be. So I hope people are just like, I hope they're ready for that. Because some of the people that are pushing the Jewish agenda are dark as me. You know what I'm saying? Some of them soldiers are dark skinned, friends. Israelis from Somalia, not Somalia, but Ethiopia and various different places like that. You think it's gonna be about you? No, friend. No, you a goy. They ain't got nothing for you. No, sir. Nah, they ain't messing with you like that. You better switch to Judaism. That's what you need to do. You need to switch over to Zionist Jewish faith if you want that favor in their world. Because all that Christian stuff y'all doing, they hate that. They don't necessarily want you to know they hate that right now, but when you start trying to do all that in their presence, once they take over whatever they taking over, then you're going to find out how much they despise that. They despise Christianity. Just like they despise Muslim faith. They don't like anything like that. So y'all keep on playing around, Zionist Christians, thinking y'all going to, now we've let them take over, now it's going to be us. No, it ain't going to be you. Nah, that's not how that works. Those of us who've been paying attention to this Palestinian thing know damn well what you're in for, friend. We know exactly what you're in for. You about to be treated like an N-word. They're going to respect you even less because you have a sense of entitlement that they have. You believe the world is about you. You're not humbled like the rest of us. Nah, you used to being able to put your thumb on people's neck, your foot on people's neck. You used to the cops serving your ass. Nah, they're going to be serving you beatings. Once y'all start bucking against that Israeli Jewish supremacy, like y'all inevitably going to do, you're going to start seeing cops beating white people ass in the streets. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I know where this go from here. I know exactly where this go from here. That's why y'all be wise to listen to people like me who are telling you what we're seeing and stop the nonsense. If you want to have any sense of any supremacy over your country from here on out, if you want it to ever be anything close to what you want it to be from here on out, you had better get those chosen ones out of the fabric of what it is that your inner workings are. You need to get them people out of that shit, I promise you. If you don't, you're going to know exactly what it feels like to be an N-word. You're going to know. Because they're going to treat you that. You see? And I'll tell y'all something else. The first thing they're going to do is get them guns out of y'all hands. A lot of y'all gun owners in the middle of America, sitting back in your places with your guns and your high power rifles, they're going to take them shits out of your hands. They're going to make it illegal for y'all to hold them things. You watch what I'm telling you. Because it's common damn sense when you consider it. If I'm trying to take over the land, I can't have Tom, Dick, and Harriet in the bayou and in the back of the damn holler with 6 and 7 AK-47s in his house. He can't have that shit. That gotta come out of his hands. And they know you ain't gonna give them over without it being the law, so they're gonna change them laws. That whole Second Amendment shit that y'all in love with, bye-bye. It's common damn sense. It's just the order of what needs to happen in order for them to take over. And they're going to use your sons and daughters that you sent to the military to get them out your hands. They're going to take all that money that you poured into investing in the police, since y'all think the police is your friends. They're going to use them same police to get them same guns that they sold you out of your hands. You see what I'm talking about? Just like y'all don't want guns in black people's hands and in the West, when we have all this political, organizational gang shit going on over here, y'all make it illegal for us to bear arms. They're gonna do the same thing to y'all in the middle American states where y'all sitting in the back somewhere with a bunch of guns, holding them with your kids and stuff. They're gonna take them from you. Watch. They're gonna take them. They're gonna take them. They're gonna weasel that nonsense into something and you ain't gonna see it coming. But they're gonna be like, look, you gotta turn your guns in. Why? Because common sense would tell them, just like it tells me, that if they don't take it out your hands, they're going to have firefights all up and down what it is they got going on. Because the moment y'all get a whiff of the fact that this ain't about to be your supremacy, but Jew supremacy, y'all going to want to use them damn guns to keep that from being what it is. And they ain't going to let it happen. See it coming. I'm trying to tell people, see it coming, bro. This ain't that difficult to see. This was pretty damn easy. When you let an entity that thrives off of believing that it's better than everyone else, and that there are laws behind allowing them to do this in other places, and now they have control over this place, there is absolutely zero reason for them not to take that for which worked over there and apply it somewhere else. Zero reason. They believe they're better than us to the books that they've provided themselves to read spiritually for thousands of years. They believe they're better than the Goy. They believe it to their soul. And what's happening over there? Why are they killing off the Palestinians? Because the Palestinians bucked back at them, didn't they? When they tried to take over, what the Palestinians do? They shot their ass up, did all types of weird stuff to them, and ever since then, they never got over that. All they saw was what happened to them. And then they've been doing horrible things to these people ever since. It's what they do to people that buck back at them when they try to take over, right? That's what they do, right? Ain't that what the history has shown us? That the pattern of the behavior of the Zionists is to be violent toward anyone that would otherwise try to stop it from taking over? Try to stop it from being the chosen, whatever the hell it chooses it wants to be? It uses violence. And what does it fear? Violence. It fears violence being pointed at it, right? So them guns that you got, what do you think? I mean, are you doing the math? Are you doing the math? That's what I was trying to tell y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all this for over a year now, ever since the beginning of this genocide, is that this is not only them pushing off their true intentions onto the world, finally revealing to all of us what they really are, but this is also a test run to see how we're going to handle this and what our reaction to them doing it will be. Those who are highly intelligent knew that most of this stuff would be seen. They know they're selling the gadgets to us so that we would be able to see everything that's going on around us. They put the cameras in the damn phones. They know this shit would be seen. That's what I want people to understand. That's what I've come to understand. You think they didn't know there would be footage of this genocide? They knew. This is a test run to see how your mind will handle that. It went from making it so that you never see dead children, not even in anything. You never hear about nothing from children. You can barely even say the word 14 in regards to somebody's age on YouTube. But they do a genocide in the middle of 2024 where everybody's holding a phone to show footage of everything that's awful in regards to it. Think that's by accident? I doubt that's by accident. They're toying with your heads. They're trying to condition your minds. They're trying to confuse a lot of people. And they're trying to make it so that you ultimately adhere to them and whatever their intentions are to make you docile. This is what we can do. This is also what we do not want you to do. Like, this is like do as I say, not as I do type stuff. That's exactly what they are. So as we continue to watch this crap, it's like, oh, well, okay. But you got to put two and two together. You can't just look at it and then just shrug it off and say, well, I mean, that's the end of the conversation. No, there's more thinking to do. What is their end game? What is the end game here? To condition you to let them do whatever they want to do while listening to them tell you not to do any of those things. You will not be violent. You will not retaliate. You will not believe that you are chosen for anything. We are the chosen ones. We kill, we maim, we call you a terrorist for doing any of those things. This is what it is. They're trying to condition your mind. They're trying to condition you for what it is that their intentions are going forward. Everything will be peace so long as you do exactly what we tell you to do. If it ain't peace, then this is what we could do to you. This is what they're telling us. This is what they're showing us. They know exactly what those weapons will do. They know what those weapons will do to certain bodies. They put knives in the bombs so that they'll cut limbs off of people. They point them at children. You know, when they try to get a specific person, they never have a problem getting that specific person. So when they kill a bunch of people, you do understand it's exactly what they're trying to do. When they target a school or target a hospital, they know what that does to your psyche. They don't do that by accident. That's not just by happenstance. And then they tell you a bullcrap lie that they know you don't believe. And there's tunnels underneath those places. They know those lies aren't believable. They're screwing with your head. Make you feel like it's futile, that they can even lie to you, do this in front of you, and then pantomime as if it ain't even happening, and that you will sit there helpless. Like there's no hope because they keep lying to us, and we can see through the lies, but we can't stop them. That's supposed to eat away at your resistance. They know them lies ain't nothing. They know that. These are mind screws. That's what this is a big mind screw on top of the terror that they're trying to place upon others. But my question is, and your question should be as well, what do you need us for? Why do you need to toy with the minds of individuals if you can just wipe everybody out and make the world what you want it to be? There's an answer to that. They need us for something. That's what we need to understand. They need us, not only they need us, but they need our compliance for something. And if we don't provide it, then we're going to find out exactly what happens when we don't toward them. What goes wrong for them when we don't adhere to all the mind screws and find ourselves nestled in the conditioning of docility, if that's a word, that they want us to have. We're going to find out exactly what's wrong with that in their equation. And that's what I want to do. I want to press that button right there. While they're trying to condition our mind to be something, I'm trying to find out what happens when I don't adhere to any of that. How bad does this turn out for you if I don't react to your psychological brain screw the way you need me to? That's what I want to know. When I don't lose hope, even though you continue to do all these weird psychological things to us, making us traumatized and ultimately make us feel like there's no hope in us fighting against you. What happens? What happens if I just don't behave the way that is supposed to force me into? And mind you this, if you believe in God, then you're never going to adhere to any of these psychological things because it requires you not to believe in God in order for it to work. You have to not believe in God in order for you to believe that they are the supreme, in order to believe that the end-all consequences come from their hand, in order to believe that even though they're doing wrongdoing, that you know to your soul that you should still go along with it, because if you don't, then whatever consequences are horrible. That is a lack of faith. That is what they absolutely need you to engage in. They need you to be idolizing things. They need you to be ambitious. They need you to be corruptible. They need you to be sinful. They need you to be all these different things, fearful, all types of stuff, adherent to the man that they are, the mankind that they are. Because at the end of the day, ain't nothing but flesh and blood, so they got to do psychological stuff, demonstrations, and therefore pluck at the heartstrings and make you feel like there's no hope. They got to do mind stuff. Because if they just locked in a room with you, it ain't gonna work the same way. They ain't gonna be able to physically impose their will in such a way without the mind screw in order for it to work. It doesn't work for them. So it's like, as long as you know it's a bunch of psychological stuff, you just close your eyes and keep your eyes on God. Stop looking at them and look at what God wants you to do, and you're gonna find your way through the fog that they put in place to destroy you. It's just fog. That's all it is. And if you have a strong enough mind, a strong enough spirit, strong enough convictions, you just push past it. You know what I mean? Accept the fact that something's going to kill you. Time's running around either way. So I'm not going to fear them killing me as if time ain't going to take care of that in and of itself. And the world that they control is not worth living in, as you can clearly see. That's the God's honest truth. You do better fighting them to the death than letting them take over stuff and then from there seeing what your fate look like. I promise you, it ain't better. It ain't. Not with them looking at all of us as goys and looking at themselves as the most important thing in the world. No, that's not a good way to live. And mind you this, an unserious entity like that, who thinks it controls everything and can toy with everything and stick its money in everything and stir up pots to confuse people, that entity is vulnerable. So once it takes over, then you're going to start finding out all the leaks that it allows in its situation, because it's fat and happy, It's entitled, and it's weak-minded. It's weak of the spirit and weak of the mind. It's smart, but it's weak in the sense that it can't take what it dishes out in any way, shape, or form, and it isn't used to having to fend for itself without the presence of corruption and confusion to help lead the way. So that means that a lot of what it has been doing, as they start to try to spread it out to do certain things, what you're going to find out is the holes that it leaves open. It's not very good for protecting itself against things that are coming, because it's too busy got its hand in every damn thing. That's what Israel doesn't understand. That's why they keep getting their ass whooped in all these firefights, keep getting bombed all over the place, because they're too busy trying to control the world without actually defending home. And it's going to do it's going to have that same effect on everywhere it controls. So if they take over America, you're going to start seeing America getting beat up in different ways that has never been beat up before. Because you got this unwise and unserious, fat and happy entity controlling the damn thing. That's what you're going to end up finding out. So you're going to start seeing other entities trying to take over and being more effective in doing so. I don't imagine that Israelis would be able to hold on to America for very long. I'd imagine they would not. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think they hold on to it for very long. Because you got to understand, a lot of the people that they've put in place to allow them to seep into this fabric of this place are corruptible individuals. So it's just as they were bought by Israel, they could be bought by someone else too. Drinking soup out of a ladle. That's essentially what it is. It's got holes all through the damn thing. So the moment these politicians feel like they can get a better bag or a better opportunity by selling what they've sold to you to someone else, selling themselves to someone else, they're going to do that. They probably already started. They've probably already begun doing that. These corruptible politicians that pledge their everything to Israel, they probably underneath that have already made deals to sell themselves to someone else who's going to destroy Israel. Israel should definitely see that coming. You can't trust him. You can't trust him. You can't trust American politicians. So if you think they're going to keep you ironclad, quote unquote, if they sold their own people down the road, they're going to sell your ass too. Duh. You got to see that coming. Zion is fat and happy though, so they're not really protecting against that like they need to. They're too busy trying to do all types of evil stuff to make people afraid of them. They don't realize they got a hole through everything they got going on, gaping holes and all of it. So if somebody like China want to take over, or some other entity of some sort, a guy like Elon Musk, I'm telling you, man. Elon Musk says he's a trumpet. Let me tell you something. Elon Musk is a musket. Do not be fooled by that. I'm not buying none of that. I don't think that if I'm Donald Trump's friend, I'm telling him don't trust that man as far as he can throw him. Don't trust him. He don't mess with you like that. That man wants the world for himself. He don't want to adhere to no guy like Donald Trump. Anybody that believes that malarkey is a damn fool. I'm just letting y'all know right now. Anybody believes that is a damn fool. Half of the people that support Donald Trump of power don't want Donald Trump in power. They just prefer Donald Trump over the other side. Over the Democrats, which a lot of people do at this point. But a man like that is not adhering to somebody like Donald Trump. He wants stuff for his damn self. He ain't no trumpet. He's a musket. Never forget what I just said here. So when he turns on Donald and he turns on the RNC, do not be surprised. I don't believe none of that from Elon Musk. None of it. 0% of that do I believe. I think he's positioned himself just like anybody else in them situations when stuff is about to go to crap. They pick a side, figure out which one makes the most sense for them. That's what they want all of us to do, is pick an evil. Pick an evil. But the reality is we don't have the ability to protect ourselves like Elon Musk. He can send himself to the moon or something like that if things go completely wrong. We pick an evil and we're stuck with the poison that we have to drink because of it. So the context from which he can choose to pick an evil and still fall on something soft is not the same context that the rest of us have if we're going to choose to pick a sense of evil to run this damn country. You better choose away from that evil Ain't no such thing as a lesser two evils. I keep telling y'all, there's no basement in hell. It's just hell. Death is death. You're going to choose this type of poison. You're going to choose a bullet, your ass still dying. And if the object is to survive, then you ain't going to pick either one of them damn things. You better find something else. I'm just saying, man. The world is a very confusing place right now, but what it is not is a good place right now. And it's going to take good people to start changing and molding the culture away from all of this corrupt nonsense. Ridiculously corrupt nonsense. And that's what I'm trying to express to all of you guys. Don't think for 1 second that there's no God. If there is no God, this is a different conversation on my channel. But that there is a God, that means we have plenty of defense against all of this. Plenty. That doesn't mean that your life is going to be spared by the consequences of the behavior of the people who are in charge. It just means that they're not going to win. There will be casualties, but they're not going to win. And the one thing about engaging in racist behavior and apartheid behavior is it's unwise. For the peace and the harmony of all people in the environment, it is not wise to engage in that behavior. That's what we've already learned. Uprisings in the street, people burning stuff down, people screaming and hollering about change and all these different things. It's what you give birth to when you engage in this type of behavior. You're not going to be able to docile the fight for freedom. People will die to receive their freedom and their dignity and to be respected. Many will choose death over adherence to that. Whether the law is trying to inflict pain on them or impose its will on them or not. It's what we've learned from already going through this. So that we would listen to an entity that doesn't see why it's important not to do this and then cater ourselves toward it is a lack of understanding and further lack of wisdom. This is why history must be taught so we can learn from the mistakes of our past. If we don't learn from the mistakes of our past, we're definitely destined to make those mistakes again. And so that we would continue to allow unwise entities that think that they can change the direction from which history has already told us these circumstances lead us is unwise. To even let people like that control things. It's unwise. We already learned these lessons. And we're going to go down this path again with people who apparently don't know what happens when they do this. That's why it's so important that we take some of these corrupt politicians and throw them in prison. Because they're taking us down an unwise path toward consequences we've already lived. We've already lived through this. We know what this looks like. We know that people can't be in peace when they do that. We know that there's war in the streets when people do that. We know what comes of this. That's the part that's so very frustrating. And it's the unwise and those who want to defy the realities of circumstances so that they can see the world fit what it is they want it to be, despite the wind blowing in a certain direction. They want to go against it. We don't know that this is what happens when you do that. Y'all like this peaceful world are you in where people aren't attacking you in the streets? You like being able to go to work and not have people doing all types of crazy stuff, standing in the middle of the freeways, keeping you from keeping your ambulance from getting to your house? Do not co-sign racism. I don't give a damn if you believe you're better than somebody or not. I don't give a damn if you hate them people or not. Do not co-sign what's going to give birth to disruption. Because you best believe if you allow for that, it's going to be a lot of it. And it's going to come to your peaceful home. A lot of y'all worked very hard to get away from the city. A lot of y'all worked very hard so you can get away from the elements that you don't like. Those elements will come to you if you continue to co-sign mistreatment on a federal level. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. A lot of y'all got out of the city because you didn't like the violence. Y'all got out of the city because you didn't like the disruption. Y'all got out of these areas because you didn't like that energy that ultimately came with the safety measures that you feel may not be very secure. These are the type of things that are going to be spread out to your doorstep if you continue to co-sign the mistreatment of people because of their colors and because of their race and because of their religion. These things spread out to you. They get to where you are safe and make it less safe. That's the problem with co-signing these racist ideologies and trying to condition the modern American mind to undo the coof that comes with respecting people's differences and respecting people's thresholds for offense, not saying racist jokes out in the open in political spaces. You don't do that because you don't want people on your ass. Literally. It's not because you've changed your heart. It's because you've grown wise to understand what comes with it. And for us to ignore that wisdom is asking for the trouble that we've already grown up from, that we've already protected ourselves from, that we've already worked out. We didn't work all this out. Maybe we have a long way to go, but to undo so much of it so that we can let an entity that doesn't even care about us into the equation so it can do disruptive and evil things, lacking wisdom. Lacking wisdom. They don't know why they shouldn't do this, is what I'm telling you. And we do, America. We know why we shouldn't do that. And that's why I'm telling everybody, pay attention to what's going on in Palestine. Not because necessarily that you care. I would love that you did, but that ain't why you need to pay attention to it. You need to pay attention to it so you have an understanding of what is going on so that you can see whatever's next coming. That's why you pay attention to it. Because there's a lot of context and a lot of nuance within those circumstances that point and tell you what you need to know so that you don't support things you have no business supporting that will ultimately disrupt your happiness and your peace. Because Lord knows you care about your damn self, right? Without paying attention to that, you don't get the first understanding of what it is you need to know why Israel is somebody that you have no business supporting on any level. You need to do everything you can to keep that entity out of your situation before it creates an environment that makes you less safe. Just like it's creating an environment that makes it less safe. And while they're lying to you, while they have your ear and they're telling you the opposite, expect that that's what it would do. Of course it's going to tell you the opposite. It's trying to convince you. And you don't have no idea of it because you're not paying attention to what you need to in a lot of cases. A lot of y'all, you're not paying attention. You've been rocked into thinking that not paying attention is something that's acceptable in these situations. And I've been telling y'all the whole time that this is not that. This ain't that. This is not something you need to carry that culture into. You need to very much snap out of that and get involved and get informed in what's going on in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict so that you understand that Israel is not just a side that needs peace, that has no interest in peace. It's a lying entity that co-signs a lot of stuff that it has no business co-signing, including pedophilia. And a lot of people who are co-signing Israel understand exactly what they're doing, and they know that you don't, while they're telling you to support it. They understand. They're just corrupt, evil, and unwise. But they know you don't, and they're trying to use what they feel will work in regards to getting your support to support the evil that they co-sign. Because it fits what is ultimately in their spiritual spaces. Because it supports their supremacy. Because it supports them being able to feel safer in this world, however that is actually painted. telling you right now, ain't none of us anti-Semitic. Most of us don't even know Jewish people. And if we do, we don't know if they're Jewish or Zionist or both. So that they can convince you that you're wrong for having an opinion about something that you see in these circumstances, it's part of the plan. They got to make sure that you think that you're wrong for questioning whether or not it's okay to do the awful shit that they're doing. You need to believe that you're wrong in their mind so that they can continue doing this without your disruption. That's all it is. That's all it's been the whole time. And they'll pay a bunch of politicians and celebrities and anybody else they can pay and corrupt as many people as possible to make this environment that, so that they can continue doing this while guilt tripping the rest of us into not asking the right question. That's all it's ever been for them. Manipulation, corruption, bribery, all of that. That's all it's ever been for these people. Without the presence of that control, they don't have any. So that's what I'm trying to express to everybody, man. Let's grow in understanding that a lot of what it is we've been coerced into is conditioned us so that we stay away from conversations like this. And in staying away from conversations like this, stuff like this can be done under our noses without us ever being the wiser. We'll co-sign it, we'll support it, we'll even fight for it. And then we'll fall victim to it. That's what the plan is if we continue to let those people control our planet. Damn it. Bdf 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.